You've got a seat that implant 6 centimeters below the cutting plane. Sontimeter. 2 spellings. Centimeter. Or the fake spelling on the internet, sontimeter. What the hell is a sonometer? That was what one of my engineering colleagues had asked many years ago when I was working in a medical implants company, and he expressed a question that several of my engineering colleagues had wondered. I wondered too, because I didn't know what a sonometer was, and yet here I was occasionally hearing other clients and engineers using that word. One time, my engineering boss, a mechanical engineer, was with our client, an orthopedic surgeon. They were working together on a new device to help the surgeon perform the surgery. And the surgeon's talking about like, oh, this 5 centimeter part feels about right. Maybe it could be 6 centimeters. And my engineer boss is like, oh yeah, maybe 5.5 centimeters sounds right. And I'm thinking, that's weird. What the hell is a sonometer? Just like my other engineering colleague. Now, clearly, they were actually referring to centimeters. That little unit of distance that is 1/100th of a meter. The thing that people outside the USA use all the time, but people in the USA don't use as much. But if you're an engineer, you use both the American and metric systems. But in any case, he was talking about centimeters, but he was saying it sonometer. And you know what? My boss didn't even say the word sonometer in any other context, but here he was talking to this orthopedic surgeon and talking about sonometers. So what is the deal here? Why were a whole bunch of engineers at my company and in the biomedical engineering industry talking to medical professionals and talking about sonometers when they very well knew that you could pronounce it centimeters? And not only that, it is pronounced centimeters. That is just how you do it in English. And the answer seemed to be that orthopedic surgeons of a certain age, they just say sonometers. And you know what? I experienced that. I was at a nice, huge international engineering and medical and surgical conference once where, a nice established surgeon was up on the podium speaking to easily hundreds of other professionals talking about, and if you make that incision 10 centimeters down the abdomen and then, he was clearly talking about sonometers and everyone was nodding. They knew exactly what he was talking about. Everyone agrees. They know a sonometer is a centimeter. Well, it turns out that, lots of different medical professionals of a certain age say sonometers, especially if they were educated, say, 50 years ago, or if you're like 60 years old right now or above and you're an orthopedic surgeon and are highly educated, or you're a really experienced nurse or nursing practitioner, or you're like an older radiologist, like all of those folks, they would say sonometer. And it's just because apparently that's just how it was done. You got your education in med school or nursing school or whatever, and the elders said sonometer. And you look this up on the internet and they agree, yes, medical professionals of a certain age just say sonometer, and that's just how it is. And if you are an engineer working with these clients of yours, creating tools for them or making software for them, whether you're a biomedical engineer or a mechanical engineer like us, or you were a computer engineer, electrical engineer, materials engineer, you spoke to your client and you code switched. You made your clients feel comfortable and happy. You spoke the way they spoke so that it was easier to fit in. You'd maybe get more business. So engineers started speaking like that when they spoke to their medical clients, just like my boss. I looked this up on the internet, as many people apparently have, and nobody really knows who started saying sonometer instead of centimeter. But one common explanation is that the pronunciation sonometer sounds closer to the French sontimetre, apparently. Like, I don't really know if you agree with that, but in French, it's centimètre. That's a centimeter. Does centimètre sound like sonometer? I think it's just really confusing because a sonometer spelled differently is an actual device used to analyze sound waves. And on the internet, when people are Googling, what the hell is a sonometer? They spell it like I spelled it at the beginning, sontimeter. And that's a fake spelling. It's a fake word. It's really spelled centimeter. Maybe it's kind of like French. I don't know. Sontimeters are a clear example of code switching, and not by a regional dialect. It's not like everyone from Kansas says sonometer. No, it's just everyone who is educated in this medical field and of a certain age started saying sonometer. And so, again, if you're an engineer working in this industry, making tools or devices or software for those medical professionals, hey, speak their language. That's our engineering jargon or slang of the day. Sonometer. If you like learning about fake words like this, keep on listening. If you like learning about real hard-hitting engineering topics and education topics, listen instead to the K-12 Engineering Education Podcast. It's my other podcast, which is much longer on all sorts of interesting engineering education issues. Go on over to k12engineering.net to check it out. Thanks.